Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427's to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video.
Boy, I never thought I'd see this day come. But okay. I need to relax. I can get through this. You've already seen the movie. So now it's time to give out your opinion on this one. Okay. Yeah, I think you can kind of see where I'm going at with, of course, the intro. So yeah. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, I hope all of you guys have actually had a pretty good Father's Day this year for sure, because, well, yeah, I mean, I guess we pretty much decided to take the time to celebrate our dads for sure, so yeah. I know that's saying a whole lot on my part, but what can you do, so yeah. I guess it's after what I've actually been through with, of course, pretty much the last review that I've actually put up for sure. I think, I guess if anything for today's movie, yeah, it actually has been a few months since after I talked about one of their films for sure, so yeah. So I guess pretty much of anything, I think it's about time that we pretty much are getting ourselves in with, of course, a brand new film done by DreamWorks, or I guess in this case, DreamWorks Animation. So yeah, I guess it is quite interesting to really think about this for sure, because, well, aside from any other movies done by major studios that I did talk about beforehand, DreamWorks Animation has really provided some really interesting stuff when you really think about it when it comes to their animated movies for sure. Yeah, with some of them being absolutely incredible, some turning out absolute crap, while most of the time they're just mediocre at best. But hey, regardless of course on that front, I always do look forward to what DreamWorks actually has provided for sure, and well, I guess it has been several months since after I talked about their last film, which was, of course, Dogman. I'm quite curious to see what they'll whip up for, of course, their next movie that they'll actually put out for sure. I mean, I guess if anything with, of course, what they got provided, I mean, it's not like pretty much for their next movie, DreamWorks will, of course, fall into the pretty much have their next movie be a little bit more like they've got the back case of the Disney live-action remake virus, right? Is anyone with me on that? They're doing it, are they? Oh boy, this is what I'm fearing, folks. I never thought I'd see this day come. And trust me, I really want to not see this for sure. But I suppose I have no choice. So yeah. I guess it looks like, I guess it's quite obvious that for today's movie we're going to be talking about, Looks like DreamWorks has got the bad case of the Disney live-action remake virus by far, with, of course, today's movie we got to see today, which is none other than How to Train Your Dragon. So yeah, that's, of course, what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also pretty much, as of course it is pretty much established, the live-action remake of course, the original animated film by the same name. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, so yeah, before I can go ahead and dive right into this remake by far, I think I should definitely pretty much get this out real quick. The original How to Train Your Dragon, yeah, what can I say about it that a lot of people haven't already? It is, of course, pretty much an absolute masterpiece of a movie, and when you think of some really great DreamWorks movies for quite a long time now, you would definitely know How to Train Your Dragon is definitely on there as one of those really great DreamWorks movies we've actually got by far. Yeah, which is saying a whole lot compared to other animated films, especially with, of course, their well-known one, Shrek. So yeah, I guess everything about the original How to Train Your Dragon is what it is by far, and it deserves no introduction by far. Pretty much everything from a great story, great characters, great animation, everything about it makes it an absolute icon for sure. And I was actually really lucky to finally catch it pretty much later on, and yeah, I do agree. I really love the original How to Train Your Dragon for what it is, and surprisingly enough, it has actually grown and evolved ever since its release for sure. Not only being one of the main films alongside Avatar and Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, and showcasing on how movies can be done with 3D for sure, to which that technology didn't last very long, but hey, even without the 3D, pretty much the original film is still great for what it is. But it's also garnered up 2 sequels by far that are both equally as great. Yeah, like, of course, I really enjoyed the second film, probably a little more than the first film. And let's not forget to mention, years ago, I did talk about the final movie in that Sega trilogy, which was, of course, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. So yeah, but if you want a little bit more in-depth thoughts on what I thought about that said film, then go watch my old thoughts video that I did pretty much years ago to really get you the idea. But yeah, regardless on that, and I know time has changed for sure, but yeah, The Hidden World is, of course, a really great movie by far, and a really great one to end that Sega trilogy for sure. Not only that, but it's also garnered up pretty much a TV show, which was actually really good around the time I saw it. Countless amount of merchandise and a bit of a following for sure. And not to mention, in recent years, it's also garnered up its own section in the newly opened Epic Universe Park down in Universal Orlando. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, that is just absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, you can say what you will about some of the others that I've actually mentioned, but regardless on that front, that just showcase on how great the original How to Train Your Dragon is for what it is, and certainly deserves to be pretty much be on top alongside some other great DreamWorks movies that we got over the years. So I guess I give it to that thought, and as you can imagine, when I heard the news that they're going to be doing a live-action remake of course, this movie, yeah, let's just say I wasn't really that excited to actually see it for sure. Even my expectations for, of course, this one is extremely low by the time I actually got to see the trailers for sure, so yeah, I guess I was a little upset when I actually heard the news about this remake actually happening for sure. And of course, I give it to all the hang on, like I said, I think DreamWorks is somehow wanting to cash in on what Disney did when they did their own live-action remakes of their animated films for about 15 years now, to which, yeah, what took them so long? I don't get it, so yeah, but regardless of course, that front, I still want to give it a fair shot, despite me not having high hopes for, of course, this one, and just to see how it compares to, of course, the original for sure, so yeah. So luckily enough, I did manage to get myself in to get in to see this movie last minute, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as usual for sure, and yeah, as expected, I made it in just in the nick of time to finally go and see the movie for myself, and yeah, now that I've officially got out of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, this is gonna be hard for me to actually say it, but I guess if anything, surprisingly enough, this movie is it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, to be honest. But given to, of course, what I'm actually seeing by far and how it compares to the original, it's adequate at best. Yeah. So yeah, I can't say this movie is as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but for what it is, it's adequate. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about. For starters is, of course, the story, and do I really need to say anything about this one for sure? Literally from, of course, what I'm actually seeing by far, the story for, of course, this movie, it's pretty much the exact same story as the original for sure. Like, have you actually seen the original How to Train Your Dragon? Well, here is again, but in live action. So yeah, literally with, of course, what I'm seeing with the story for, of course, this movie, it's literally line for line, shot by shot, the exact same thing as the original for sure, and honestly, it's not hard to actually tell the difference by far, because, well, if you have seen pretty much How to Train Your Dragon, then you've seen, well, How to Train Your Dragon, so yeah. But granted, I think I will give parts of it a little credit that there are some parts in it that are in fact added into, of course, this one where the original was lacking at best, and I'll be honest, it is fine from what I can gather. I mean, if you're going to pretty much tell the exact same story like what the original did, at least try to add in something that is, of course, new and creative at the same time. And for while I think there are parts of it that I think actually are new and creative by far, they hardly do any much to, of course, try and bring in something new that we've never actually seen with, of course, this movie for sure. And honestly, I think that is, of course, pretty much what I think distracts me from, of course, being myself engaged with, of course, this movie for sure, because with little to no changes or additions added in, you're really suckering me in for, of course, pretty much a little something that is, well, better than the better in the original for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story for, of course, this movie. Not to mention the writing, I have to say. Honestly, I think from what I can gather writing-wise, I guess pretty much of anything, it's almost like, yeah, the writing for, of course, this movie is, honestly, I think, not only just sloppy at best, but also pretty lazy for sure. Like, how lazy is it? Well, pretty much take the screenplay of course, pretty much the original final screenplay that finally got the movie greenlighted and into production for sure, and just copy and pasting all together, adding a few extra notes by far, and yeah, they're like, perfect! Into production we go, so yeah, literally I think, literally it's like taking like several drafts from, of course, the script from, of course, the original film by far, and there's nothing really, anything added in to really get me engaged by far, and yeah, even with the hard-working effort they tried to do to make the material work, it's just not enough for me to actually get me fully engaged for sure, So yeah, I think it's what I can say for the writing for, of course, this one for sure, and not to mention a few bits of comedy I have to say. Again, I do think they're done a whole lot better than the original. They're done a whole lot better in the original for sure, because, well, you actually pretty much do get a good laugh where every good joke actually plays out, and honestly, I think given to, of course, what I've actually seen by far, yeah, it's literally the same joke, pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much the same jokes and comedy bits that they did in the original. Yeah, it's almost like pretty much trying to explain a person pretty much the joke itself without having the understanding of what makes it funny, so yeah. Honestly, I think it's, of course, what I could say for those aspects in a nutshell for sure. Literally, everything about it is almost shot by shot, line for line, the exact same thing as the original for sure, and yeah, given to, of course, what I've actually seen by far, you're not really putting any effort into any of this whatsoever, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, well, so yeah, now that I've officially got those out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the characters, and honestly, I think, I do have a full understanding of the characters in the original for sure, but I guess for the sake of these characters for sure, honestly, I think they pretty much the development they've give to each and every single one of them, I just find pretty much a little bit too yeah, pretty much it's almost like pretty much the same kind of development to, of course, the characters in the original, but given to what I'm actually seeing, there's hardly anything to actually make them likable and interesting for sure. Like, we know exactly on what they're going to do and what their flaws are going to be and how they're going to be overcome for sure, because, well, they did it so well in the original, so why bother doing that for, of course, this remake? But yeah, I think you can kind of get the idea on what exactly I mean by that for sure. I mean, granted, I think there might be pretty much some that have been giving us some nice development. I do think they're follow through just fine, but they hardly do anything to further the plot for, of course, this one. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, now as for the actors that came aboard to play all these characters, well, I guess to be honest, I think if there is one saving grace for, of course, this movie by far, I will have to say the acting in, of course, this film. Well, most of the actors, I will have to say, they actually did give off some pretty good performances, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like, I know they're trying to work around the bullshit material that's pretty much rehashed, but done a whole lot poorly for sure, but I will give it credit. The acting is actually pretty nicely done, and I really do think there is a bit of effort in their performances, like, of course, Mason Thames, who plays Hiccup in, of course, this movie. I will give him credit. He actually does give off a pretty solid performance, I'm not gonna lie, and it does look like he really is making Hiccup his own for sure. I really do dig that all the way, and even the relationship between him and Toothless, to which, trust me, I'll get to that later on. Again, for what I will have to say is, again, probably done a whole lot better in the original for sure. I'll give it credit. It is still a nice, believable relationship, hands down, and of course, what they need to do to finally overcome themselves and actually get along for sure, to which I do find that quite interesting by far. And again, the original actually did so well, but the remake, I'm glad to see they capture that aspect quite well. So yeah, that's of course one good example for why me. And for while some of them actually pulled off some really good performances, others on the other hand, I just kind of felt pretty much their I feel like mentality, pretty much mental-wise, most of the actors who actually also came on board to play the characters by far, it somehow began to wonder on why this remake is necessary to be made for sure. Like, of course, for all I am glad to see Gerard Butler back in his role as Stoic the Vast, like he did in the original film for sure. Honestly, I think through his performance, I'm not gonna lie, I think he seems less, of course, pretty much giving off an invested performance, but more questioning to himself on why he has to see all these lines again, since he did so well in the original. Yeah, it's almost like he's thinking to himself, wait, didn't I already do that stuff in the original? So why would I bother doing all this again? Did I do one take wrong? Yeah, did I do one take wrong? Is that it? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Gerard Butler actually was thinking that when he was on set making this film for sure, but that's just scratching the surface from what I can gather. But yeah, regardless of course, that's an issue. Again, most of the acting, I have to say, is actually done pretty good. And again, Mason Thames as Hiccup, I really do think is actually very nicely done for sure. And yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, despite the characters not being that interesting in my opinion, I will say the acting, or most of the acting for sure, are actually pretty good for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually, quite a whole lot, I'm not gonna lie. I guess for one thing, the production design, I have to say, honestly, it's not that bad in my opinion, for sure. I think with, of course, what they've actually done with the film's production design, yeah, I really do think they did put in some nice effort in what they actually did for sure. Like, of course, pretty much everything from, of course, the nice location, which I think is, yeah, to which, yeah, I know it's a part of Ireland, I'm not gonna lie, and of course some really nice sets that they actually built. You really do feel like they really showcase the Isle of Burke on screen, and how they're going to translate that into a live action for sure. And again, I know hands down pretty much of anything, I know it's done a whole lot better and pretty much in the original, because, well, it took pretty much advantage of course, the designs and even the nice pretty much usage of color for sure to really make the Isle of Burke absolutely incredible. So I guess for the sake of the remake, I really do think pretty much the production design, of course, this movie is actually very nicely done for sure. Like I can literally see this as someone actually seeing the Isle of Burke literally come to life for sure. Like pretty much taking some liberties from the original for sure, but actually giving a nice coat of paint of that, for well, not really great, but still nicely done for sure. So that's one thing I can give the remake credit for, hands down, in pretty much in its production design for sure. I really do think they did a nice job, of course, that front. And again, it is quite fitting because, as I've mentioned earlier, they do now have a How to Train Your Dragon area at, of course, the newly opened Epic Universe Park, and I'm not gonna lie, through, of course, some pictures and stuff I've seen online, it definitely does look amazing, and it really does also make you look like you really stepped onto the Isle of Berk. So yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting comparison to, of course, the production and design in this remake. So I'm really glad to see that this movie really did put in some hardworking effort in making Berk all the more incredible. And not to mention the visuals and the effects, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, again, as one saving grace by far, I really do think the effects in this movie is actually done pretty good for sure. I mean, I guess everything, for a while, not really rendered pretty much 100% for sure. In fact, more along the lines of like 90 to 100% for sure. I really am convinced that it really does blend in well with the film surroundings for sure. And even the CGI, I have to say, is actually done pretty good for sure. Like every single dragon that you've actually seen on screen, for a while, I guess a little different, and some of which are a little out of place design-wise. For of course this one for sure. They really did an incredible job in making the dragons look actually pretty good and still retain on how they look in the original for sure. Especially with, of course, Toothless, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, for a while, I do think Toothless is actually done pretty well and animated much better in the original. I really do think they did an incredible job translating Toothless quite well into live action for sure. And yeah, I am actually very convinced that pretty much Toothless is actually really there, and I can actually feel and touch him for sure. And yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. And I really do admire, of course, what this movie actually did. And again, certainly one saving grace, I'm not gonna lie, from what I can gather. Of course, the direction in this film, to which I should mention right now, is of course done by the director of the original, Dean DeBlas, and yeah, for a while I give him credit for of course putting in some effort into of course what he's doing, because well, he really put in a lot of hard-working effort in, of course, the original alongside Chris Sanders, and he wants to recapture that same magic with, of course, this one, to which I'll give him credit for that. I think he is trying his best to work around most of the crap material that he actually whipped up for, of course, this one, and for a while that does sound nice. I just kind of felt he really is pretty much a little big into, of course, what he has to work with for sure, to which, again, not terrible for what it is, but I just kind of felt pretty much he would have been one of those directors that would have been stopped by anyone in a particular and actually tell him, yeah, maybe I think we should probably do like a little rewrite of course, the material that you actually work with, and yeah, if he would have allowed that for sure, then I think his directing would still be outstanding for sure. But I do give him credit for at least trying his best to, of course, put in some hard-working effort in a nutshell for sure. So yeah. And, of course, the cinematography, I have to say, yeah, for while I can't necessarily say it's by all means great, I do think he actually provided some really good camera shots, I'm not gonna lie, for sure, and yeah, I think they really did a nice job with, of course, what they actually did with the cinematography. It is actually pretty nicely done, for sure. And not to mention the editing, I have to say, is kind of fine from what I can gather. Nothing really to write home about, and it does pretty much, I guess pretty much everything. It is, of course, half and halving, matching quite well, and of course the film's pacing, to which, yeah, not bad from what I can gather, but not really that great either. And oh yeah, let's not forget to mention the musical score, I'm not gonna lie. Well, surprisingly enough, you know, one of those movies that really doesn't want to put a lot of hard-working effort, of course, putting together some new music, but instead wants to steal from, of course, pretty much music from other movies, so that way it'll be groundbreaking and epic for what it is. I think that's what this remake actually did with its music, hands down. It's literally like you took the musical score, the musical score from the original and just, well, pretty much playing that way as the remake goes by. But yeah, that's pretty much all I could say, of course, that front. So yeah, I could go on and on, of course, everything else about this movie as a whole for sure. But those are pretty much what I can gather on my part, so yeah. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole, so yeah, overall, the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake is pretty much what you expect it would be, hands down. A remake. Nothing else from what I can gather. Literally from, of course, what I've actually seen by far. It literally is nothing more but a shot-by-shot remake of course, pretty much such an iconic movie that we all know and love, hands down, and for what it is, for what I do think some parts of it are, of course, done pretty well. Other times it just kind of felt it was lacking a passion whatsoever, for sure. To which, again, it doesn't make it awful for what it is, but a little bit more adequate, to say the least, and I think that's the best way I can actually describe this movie as a whole, for sure. It's adequate for what it is. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's, by all means, all terrible, for sure. No, not at all. Like I said, there are some really good stuff in, of course, this movie that I really do like and admire, for sure. Like I said, the most of the acting is pretty good, the production design and the effects are nicely done, and the cinematography is actually done pretty good, and that's just to name me a few, So yeah, I really do admire on what they actually did to really make this movie the best they can from what I can gather, which is such a shame that most of the other times it's of course overshadowed by the crappy laziness in other departments, hands down. So, but yeah, like I said, I can't necessarily say this movie is terrible for what it is. In fact, I'm glad to see it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, hands down. But I guess pretty much of anything, I think pretty much this remake that we actually got still couldn't capture the same feel and magic of the original, for sure, right? To which I think you're better off just by seeing that, for sure. It's still an absolute masterpiece for what it is, and nothing could top it, hands down, for sure. And yeah, it is, of course, one of the good reasons on why it's still the best of the best when it comes to DreamWorks animation, for sure. Always have and always will. So yeah. But I guess either way, for of course this remake, from what I can gather, it's just one of those products at the time, for sure. To which I do think is probably the best way I can actually describe this movie as a whole. So yeah, but if it is your cup of tea, from what I can gather, I say this movie is a fine one to check out, for sure. So yeah, if you think that might be something up your alley, then I say this might be worth almost a couple of hours of your time. But I guess for the time being, I think it's probably best if we just stick with the original, for sure. Pretty much of anything, the original How to Train Your Dragon is still a grand and epic masterpiece of a movie, while the remake is, well, I'm glad to see it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but not really that great either. And yeah, pretty much of anything, calling it adequate is pretty much the best way you can actually describe this movie as a whole. No more, no less. So yeah, for my final score, Yep. I guess pretty much give it to what I've actually seen. I guess I'm pretty much gonna give this movie a 5.5 out of 10 for sure. Like I said, I can't necessarily say it's as bad as I thought it was gonna be based on when this movie got announced and when I saw the trailers for it. But I really don't think it actually has that same charming appeal of the original for sure. But I can't necessarily say it's all bad for sure. It's just adequate for what it is. And give it to, of course, what I've actually seen. Yeah, I'm actually glad I finally gave it a fair shot. And yeah, I think for what it is, I think I'm pretty much gonna stick with the original for the time being because, well, it's still a fantastic movie nonetheless. And again, nothing could top it whatsoever. And I guess for the sake of DreamWorks, as of now, I do hope this won't be something that they'll actually keep on doing for a long time now. But I can't give them any ideas because, well, given for the fact that pretty much they've already greenlighted a sequel right about now, it looks like they're pretty much going to be stuck with the Disney live-action remake virus for a while longer for sure. But we'll have to wait and see if that will change over time or not. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So yeah, I better hope DreamWorks will actually pretty much go back to, of course, making good movies again because, well, I mean, come on, DreamWorks, you were already off to a good start with, of course, Dogman. Why lose that touch? Are we gonna go back to the bad side of DreamWorks, like the most of the movies from 2023 that they released, or any other bad DreamWorks movie that they would actually put out? I sure hope not, but again, we'll have to wait and see. But until then, if you actually want to experience the How to Train Your Dragon remake for yourself and see how it compares to the original, then by all means, no harm done. Then I say this might be worth a couple of hours of your time for you to check out and see how it compares to the original. But for me, for while I am glad to see that there are good stuff, and of course this one that I really do love and admire, but as someone who absolutely loves the original, I think this is certainly one dragon that I won't be flying with anytime soon. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, what do you think of the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake if you've actually seen it? Do you absolutely really enjoy it? I think it's a really fantastic movie, and you dare even say it's actually better than the original, or do you absolutely hate it and think DreamWorks should not do any more live-action remakes whatsoever, and the original How to Train Your Dragon is still a much better movie to watch? Or are you like me and you thought it was just alright for what it is, but more adequate to say the least? So yeah, let me know down in the comments down below on what you thought of this movie, if you've actually seen it for yourself. I would love to know. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, I do hope maybe for the next movie that I'll actually check out later on, hopefully it'll be a little bit better than what we got here for sure, but we're gonna have to wait and see on that for sure. So yeah, but until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next thoughts video. Take care. Hey guys, so you made it to the end of this thoughts video, so yeah, good for you. I'm really glad to hear it, and well, I just want to take the time at the end of this thoughts video to get this workout real quick, because, well, right around on Saturday, June 21st, that's going to be coming up, pretty much on my workplace, Area 51 and the Crow's Nest Online is once again going to be hosting their free RPG Fest that's going to be coming up. So yeah, if you may recall, right around over a year ago, I actually got to be a part of that last year, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to, of course, come back for, of course, pretty much their next event that they're going to be having this year. So yeah, and just to give you guys a quick heads up, by far, pretty much their free RPG Fest will of course be taking place on Saturday, June the 21st, at their shop at the Cortland Corset building over in Cortland, New York. So yeah, and of course, much like last year, I'm gonna be there in person, and yeah, I'll of course be hosting and judging their cosplay contest that they're going to be having later on that day for sure. So yeah, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. I had such a great time doing that last year, and I can't wait to do it again this year for sure. So yeah, like I said, I had a great time last year, and I'm excited to see what this year will have to offer for sure. So yeah, if you want to check pretty much check in with, of course, updates and stuff on, of course, that's an event, and they've already got scheduling everything for when they're going to do so, then by all means follow Area 51 and the Crow's Nest Online on their Facebook and Instagram for plenty of information by far, and don't forget to DM them for plenty more of that if you're curious to know. So yeah. And by all means, if you actually see me in person by far, then by all means, you're more than happy to coming up to me and say hi. Yeah, like I said, I had a great time last year, and I'm excited to see what this year will have to offer for sure. So yeah, I just want to give you guys that bit of information at the end, since you've already made it for sure. And yeah, if you actually do plan on going pretty much this upcoming Saturday, then by all means, coming up to me and say hi. Hope to see you there.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.